Hello, everyone. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Wherever you are, Happy New Year. Welcome back. And I am so happy and excited to be with you in another Tuesday talk when we talk about everything and different topics about landing higher profile roles and doing interesting work that we want to do. So today's topic in this conversation is about everything negotiations. The things that you need to know about negotiation and the things that you need to be deep and skillful. They're two different things. The reason I chose this topic and the series of topics that we were talking about in this quarter was because prior to Christmas, I had a conversation with a client that uses the phrase price taker. And that made me think, price taker, that is such a conversation, that's such a phrase that we only use when we are buying or selling something. So I thought, that's a good topic, and I started research. And I have been working on concept of negotiation and sales for a very long time. So I started to bring all the Excel files and save bookmarks and books and notes and everything together. And I started to think about, where do we begin? When we want to research a topic, the most important part of the research is to know what is the body of knowledge. That's what they call review of literature. And there are three reasons that we will do that. So I started to collate and gather everything that is there about negotiation. I know, it's so scary. The three reasons for that and why you need to know what's in the body of knowledge, what's this topic made of, is that firstly, when you know about a topic, when you know all the parts of it, it gives you a sense of confidence. It gives you some sort of comfort that I know what's going on in there. You might not be expert or specialized in all parts of it, but you know what is in it. And that's where you get respect. The second reason is that you will have options. If this approach is not working for you, you know that there is some other ways of going about it. There's this phrase that I really love that says, a person with options is a powerful person. So if you are in a conversation about a deal or negotiating about your next job or negotiating with your teenager about when is the best time to tidy up their rooms, nevertheless, there are different options available to you in terms of your approach. And if you know them, you can decide which one to employ. The third reason, when you're looking at a kitchen, fridge, and pantry and thinking, oh, what can I cook? What is a new dish that I can come up with? Well, an empty fridge and pantry with a few things in it doesn't allow for a lot of innovation and creative way of doing things. If you have all the elements and possibility available to you, it's more likely for you to come up with innovative and creative ways. And it doesn't mean that they are really uncommon ways. They're just not very it doesn't mean that they are impractical. It's just not that they are common in your industry or in data space. So you have you are more dynamic in the way you approach things, and you can challenge status quo, basically. So when I was putting the content together, I arrived at 7 areas of the concept or areas of knowledge in negotiation, which I'm going to go through that. So today's conversation is going to be just reading a list, not exactly that, but in each area I'm going to highlight the key points that are interesting. And if you've got a pen and paper or somewhere that you can take notes, it's a good time. Otherwise, I will put all of these in the show notes and somewhere around wherever you're watching this, so you can later on refer to it. I don't promise that I'm going to go through all of this in next couple of months, one by one, or in this sequence, because from my past experience, I learned, though I have all the content ready, my brain doesn't work that way, so I have to see what's the best sequence for that time of year or wherever we are. But I will promise that I will cover a lot of content and a lot of concept. One other thing that has always been my promise is that I always pair that topic and concept with a case from either client or student or myself, so it's actually real. And the other thing is that I always invite you to take an action. All right. So as you can see, I always prepare my notes still on paper, and this was a fair bit. So I'm going to go through the 7 areas that they make the body of the knowledge when it comes to negotiation. And then from there, one subtopic under each one of them that I believe is key for us to know about. All right. The first one is core concepts of negotiations. The types of negotiations that we have, the styles of negotiation. You have heard of BATNA. This is not a new thing. And then I will introduce another one that is called ZOPA, which is the zone of possible agreement. All the shades of gray that we are talking about, not black and white. That's that conversation. The second topic or concept that I will talk about is phases of negotiations. Preparation, opening, and then forward and backwards between the possibilities, closure, and then implementation. It's very interesting. I'll call your attention to the implementation part. I thought before this research is that end of negotiation is a closure. Once the deal is closed, it's actually not. Implementation is also part of negotiation. So by having that in mind, the nature of your negotiation will change. Topic number 3 is communication skills. And under that, we will talk about active listening, nonverbal. And this is interesting. Nonverbal, the ones that you observe and the ones that you exhibit. It has 2 parts to it. Topic number 3 is psychological and behavioral insight and aspects of negotiations. The cognitive biases that we have, that is where we need a lot of awareness, emotional intelligence, and power play. This is the part that you probably want to gain some knowledge in terms of, again, reading and then changing the dynamic of power play. Number 5 is cultural and contextual concepts. And as you go higher in corporate, higher positions, and you go into international and global positions, that cultural aspect of work becomes even more important for you. And now is the time to learn about them and somewhat practice them before you are actually in a situation that you're closing a deal with another country, or you are flying to another country, and now it's not the time for you to research how to operate in this new country and how to approach the different situations. So that's one part that I actually separated that and brought a lot of other things, created a lot of subcategories underneath that. The 6th one is anything to do with practical tactics and strategies. This is things such as silence, mirroring that influences others, and you've heard of this one, good backup, that we always use, or we've seen that is used in multiple when there's 2 groups of people are sitting in front of each other. I probably won't go into that because it's quite a known one, but I just want you to know that it's a technique and where it's sitting in this categorization. And the 7th category that I created was everything about practice and application, and how you actually learn these topics and these concepts and how you bring them to life. That is one of them that is very important, is role play. And we actually use role play quite a lot when it comes to when we are practicing negotiation for a role or interview. So one of the parts of Executive Elevate, we spend a significant amount of time on role-playing parts of interview or parts of negotiations of the role to make sure that we are comfortable in playing in different scenarios and we are comfortable to change the direction of those conversations. So everything that we do in these 7 categories somehow will tie to my favorite topic, becoming the obvious choice for opportunities. What I call it becoming headhuntable, basically. So these were the 7 topics: core concepts, phases of negotiation, communication skills, psychology and behavioral insights or dynamics, I should say, cultural, cross-cultural dynamics, techniques, strategies, and last one is putting everything to practice applications. I know that I'm reading it and I know that I'm giving you a list that it might not be absorbed very well right now, but that gives you a framework as what are we gonna talk about in next couple of months. And then with the actions that we share with you is that I want you to be able to apply them. So you start thinking about all the possibilities and all the scenarios that these topics are a practice area for you and you can bring them to life. All right, my friend. That's what I prepared for today. It's the beginning of the year, so I won't take more of your time. I'm so glad that you're here with me, and I am looking forward to actually exploring everything negotiation with you. This is my favorite topic, if you haven't been able to guess. All right. Thanks for your time. I will see you next time, same place, and definitely a different subtopic. Bye.